Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? What did I do? I know what it is. I think I didn't get enough views. Ha ha ha. I will stream. I have the right to document my life. Yeah, look, I told you that would smoke up a little bit and give it a bit of clean. Look, all of that on top of that. It's burning it away. It's on something about hot objects or cooking or fire or whatever. You just like, no. What did I say, Susan? I know who you are. I know your name. I know where you live. No, I'm just kidding. I don't actually know where you live, but I know you're annoying. Imagine there were actually people in the comments, that'd be even worse, because some snowflake would complain, he's eating in the stream! It's like, fuck off. That's the issue. I'm going to stop swearing now. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop swearing. All the black deposit has just magically disappeared. You hear that little clip down as it went off. Go on. I can see little filaments going on in there. It goes up, round, 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 round. It's just a big heating element. So I've got a little metal case. What are you complaining about, Susan? CEO of YouTube. So apparently your connection is unstable. I had to move it nearer to Amal's room to get. Let me go onto my channel and check that I'm actually live, because that's a little bit crap. A little bit poop. Oh, stupid Scott Kilmer with his clickbaity bloody titles. I don't know why I'm still subscribed to him. Yeah, still live. Still says it's live. Funny enough, my auntie literally said she might buy me a phone. And I was like, what? She said a cheap one, though. She's giving me a wrong tablet. I can overclock it. And to make it run really good. It'll overheat a lot, though. Does not say I haven't got heat sinks. So I have got heat sinks. Do you know, I'll show my little collection. Hang on. With some solar light bits and everything. Really, what's the crap? You knew that. It is air freshener. Yeah, it's empty. I've got ones that work. This isn't crap. This is fucking brilliant, mate. I had to say that because that's how brilliant it is. JBL Flip 4. I have no problems with that at all. I've got some things I bought for myself. I've got a lot of air extension leads because I need them. Including one that's actually going out into the garden, if you've seen it. Power and USB charger, but not only that, I've got the wires for the JBL. But I happen to have one of their little extensions with 2 USBs, and it does work. I have had this apart because it's got a stupidly bright blue LED in it, and like when I'm sleeping and stuff, and that thing's on, it just literally stops me from sleeping. So I've had it apart. Look, there you see, the screwdriver's slightly worn because what I've done is I've got a Phillips screwdriver and just pushed really hard into the screws, and I've got a load of grip. And I've just managed to undo them, and I took their light out. Put it back there. What's your uncle? Look, got some USB wire. Bare ends. Oh, I can power some LEDs with this thing. In fact, LEDs run on about 3 volts, yeah, which is like 2 1.5 volts put together. The power coming out of this is like 3 1.5 volts put together, and this can actually overload LEDs as long as it's just a single one on there. But if you run 2 LEDs in series on one of it, it's not actually enough power because it needs to be 6 volts, not 5. I've got the charger to the laptop I'm using. I also have another one that I've locked the wires off because I see some electrical stuff like that as well. I've got the auto wire using my JBL. Yes, it is Bluetooth, but when I'm watching YouTube videos and the speech is like well off from what's actually coming out of the thing, I've got that to speed it up. Chamomile tea. If you're wondering why I do some of that electrical stuff, I've got my Simbaku channel. I've got some videos on that. I'm not really going to be doing a lot of that anymore because I'm moving. And, you know, I've got a working Apple power cable. That one's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got GT85, WD-40. I've got Hero body lotion. Just show all my stuff. If you're wondering who Sadie is, because I keep talking about her, Google Translate was obsessed with her. It was calling her a naughty girl. You cannot see that at all. This is Sadie's mother, Betsy. See, you know Betsy. You've seen her on my YouTube video. Video. Some solar light crap. Here's a solar panel, look. I actually got a lot of these that I've like put together, and like it can almost charge the phone, but it's not quite enough power. I won't actually do it. Some solar light bits along with the pen. I've got a lot more in my room. I just bought a small amount of it. I'll show you. And of course, I've got circuit boards that I've stolen the LEDs off because I made a little rack with a load of LEDs on it. Fortunately, I won't be able to take any of that down. Literally, all this stuff here, except for the wire, the speaker, and the aux. I can't take any of this stuff. Not even this plug of Betsy. I can't even take this down with me because my mum's car is so small. I'm never going to get it all in there. So, like, literally, half of all the stuff I've got is just going to stay here. I'm going to give it away. Including that extension thing. Well, I can take this, but not the extension. I'm not going to be taking my chamomile tea. No, it's so much money just wasting, man. It's going to give stuff away. I've got something, do you know what I mean? The laptop and the charger, that's Harry's. So that's going to stay here anyway. That's his. That's going to go wherever we go. some burger sauce right now. The burger sauce I've got is essentially what's in a Big Mac. Somebody's gotten, or a lot of people have actually gotten the recipe with all the stuff that's in there just by tasting it and smelling it and be like, oh, it's got this in it, it's got that in it, whatever. They've made it. If you want to make your own Big Mac, you've literally got burger sauce that tastes exactly the same. I'm maybe keeping this actually. Anything I'm keeping, I'm not losing, I'm leaving on the table. So like the pen, for example, I'll keep that. Yeah. I need to keep my Betsy plaque and the charger. Why not? I've got like another bag that I can put a few more things in, but I'm not a hell of a lot. Maybe my camera too as well. I'll get it, see what fits. Just wire the bare ends, that's going to stay here because I'm no longer doing electrical things. Yeah, I'll see what fits in that bag. Hang on. I'm going to need the wire, I'm going to need the plug. Betsy plaque, pen. Right, let's see. Yeah, I think I have it well. That's just a little bit more full now. This can go in the bin. Not before I crush it. You really got to step. And yes, when they're completely empty like that, they are safe to crush. They're not going to burst into flames. They're just not safe to heat up. The reason to show you not to cut them open is because if you're cutting it with a metal object, you can rub up against the metal on the outside of the can, cause a spark. You can set it alight, or you'll just make a massive mess. But otherwise, it's just like a drinking can, really. Just a bit thicker, a bit stronger, a bit sharper, but not much of it. Right. And try this other one. Slightly different colour, it's like less yellowy, it's more. You can see the difference. Can you see that? It's a bit different. See? I prefer this one more. This one tastes more like Perrier mayonnaise. This stuff just tastes like kind of crap. But I'll eat it anyway because I don't waste food. Arden Stevie, I believe, is old enough where it's still whacked on the buttons. So, 50 reasons, okay. This one essentially I've got here, this is like a 5 meter one. It's got 2 plugs, so I have to add a little gang onto that. But as long as I'm outside, this can go out. But if I go inside, I've got to take it back in, obviously, because it can't be getting wet. Before I actually plug it in, I get a USB wire and I run like an electrical test on it just to make sure it's not shorted out, because basically, right, I get a power bank, I plug a USB into it, right? I just hold one wire onto this like that, and I see if there's continuity between the other two. If the full amount of electric is just going straight through from the power bank, that means it's shorted out and, you know, get rid of it. But if there's nothing going through that, and then, you know, I can get an LED. If the LED doesn't light up at all, I know it's fine. I can demonstrate that to you right now. I don't know if I've got an LED though. I've actually got a lot of LEDs on mine. I've got a lot of LEDs, but yeah, they are string lights, and I'm not ripping them apart. I'm going to run this test just for you. We're going to do it. So, I did it just for you guys. I literally took an LED out of my stream just for you. Got USB. I can run off the laptop actually. I just run off the laptop just for safer, innit? Because it's unplugged. Like I haven't got a charger or anything. They always put. It is unplugged. They always put this felt in it, and I don't understand why they're doing that. They kind of want to stop you from not being able to solder it back together, but I find, in my eyes, that it actually helps. Yeah, so much for planned obsolescence, you stupid companies. I get why you. Well, I do actually want to plug this into the USB supply, because if I plug it into the USB on my laptop and I short the LED out, guess what? I could fry the laptop. I don't want to do that. That's stupid. I'm going to do it off the USB supply first. This cheap plug socket will let me plug it in because it's nasty. Because the LED's got two wires, one off each side. So they can both be powering the same part or whatever. Right, there you go. So I know what's what. What I'm going to do. Make sure I know which way it works. Connect the LED to the negative, because that's where electricity actually comes out of. It comes out the negative and into the positive. And remove the USB. So now, got a little LED here, got a little light. I'll plug it into the laptop. So it's plugged into the laptop now. I'm going to touch these wires together. It's working. So now, what we do to check that this isn't soaked and full of water inside. I'll remove this and I'll unplug it because that is not needed. So I'm not using that right now. Just showing evidence that things are actually unplugged. So now I'm actually doing something safe. Right. Theoretically, if this thing is full of water the LED will turn right on. So all you do, get one end of the LED on like that, put the other end on that. You see, it's not turning on. Say it was shorted out, for example, so I put both of these on the earth terminal. I haven't got it plugged in. What an idiot. Right, let's try this again. I messed that right up. There's a reason the LED was not turning on. Okay. Right, sorry, I'm not overloading it again. Right, so if I put these directly together, it will turn on now. Now we know it's actually working. So, if there's water in this LED would turn right on. So, you put one to there, you put one to there. Nothing. If I put these both on the same one, for example, like that, you see it turns on. That's normal because it's just going through metal. Metal conducts electricity, as you know. So, these should never be shorted out. If these were shorted out and I plugged it in, there would go your electric. But as we can see, it's not turning on, so we know that that is totally safe. Now what I could do, this thing's still unplugged, but I've got something I can plug into it. The components inside this might actually be conductive enough to allow that LED to light. I don't know if it will. They're all turned on though. All the switches, there are separate switches on that supply. See, this turns on. Oh, look, the LED flash. That's because I've got something plugged in. That's all that is. Look, electrical safety test. There you go. Just done an electrical test, mate. It is perfectly fine. So now we know, because that LED did not light up, and it only lighted up slightly if there was something plugged in. That's just showing you that there's something plugged in. You know, that's absolutely safe to use. And I know you're not going to hear a bang when I turn it on because I've just proved it. If the thing was full of water, the LED would turn on, and it is not. There is no water, so it is safe. I'm plugging that into the power strip right now. That's on. The light's on and hasn't gone off, so looks like and the light's on as well. So it looks like I was right. Now I've got a USB plug. This is another simple thing you can do to make sure you've actually got power. Same one I plugged into the laptop. The amount of power coming out of the laptop, amount of power coming out of this is absolutely no different. There was 1 amp and 5 volts. The laptop puts out 1 amp and 5 volts on its own battery as well, so there's literally no difference. And we can make sure we've got electric. The LED turns on, so we've got power too. Just because the light on this is on doesn't mean these plugs are messed up and aren't working. This stream has not disappeared. That's a good thing. So we're set up. I would normally have my desk over here. Sometimes I do have the desk over here. This is literally like my power thing. Now I'll show you that this thing's mounted. This small one doesn't have it. Hang on. If you're wondering how I've attached that to the fence, it's got the mounting holes. That one's got the same mounting holes on the back of it. The difference is it's got switches. But yeah, it's got mounting holes. So I put some screws in the fence and I've just hung that on them. And I've got to plug my fan back in because I have to take this out. Right. And put this USB plug to something useful. Let me set another example, okay? So I plugged in that USB thing with that wire with bare ends, okay? I'm still alive, okay? The reason I'm still alive is the same reason why when you plug your phone into charge, it doesn't just explode in your hands, because there's only a low voltage coming out of that. If there were mains voltage coming out directly out of this, that so many people think it is, your phone would just be no more the moment you plug it in. So it's obviously safe. That's out of the question. You don't need to be smart to know that. That's safe. But what goes into that plug is converted down to a very safe voltage that can't even start a fire under its own power. The amount of power coming out of this laptop charger is 20 volts. This could start a fire if you did it the right way. That charges a laptop. The laptop's got a little converter inside itself as well, which slows that voltage even lower to about 3.7 volts, which is what the batteries are running on. If you hear a high-pitched squealing, that's because this is a cheap charger and it's a bit noisy. It's got a miserable power supply. Little transformer, little step-down transformer. That noise. I'm going to make a little laptop lamp. Pardon me. Oh my god. If I had electrical tape, I'd actually do it properly. We could just make a little power tester. Yeah, so, for artistic sake. Oh, look, the LED's trying to turn on. I'll unplug that. So, for artistic sake, let's put the red on the red. Red on the red. Grab this. I think I've got sellotape actually. That could on, off, on. But let's have that off. Because the LED laptop lamp. Also, if you want it to be a bit more conservative and you don't want to kill your laptop battery, you can always just plug this into a USB. What comes out of one of these is exactly the same as what comes out of USB on your laptop. This is a USB, that is USB. These USBs are never above 5 volts, they're never below 5 volts. They're always 5 volts. That's the whole point of being a USB. It's designed to be on a low voltage reference. Cars are the same. Things like your sat nav, your charging ports, whatever, your LED lights, your instrument cluster, things like that comes out of this. You've got power in your car that runs off a USB like this. Runs off the same power. You've got 12 volt as well, which is what comes from the car battery. That is also safe to handle. The 20 volt coming out of this is safe to handle. Although you can heat up wire with that. If I get USBs like this and a wire like this and put them in parallel, you can get a lot of current and you can melt some wires like that as well. Just so you know. Because like the more things you have in parallel, the more current you've got. That's why if you have a power bank, you can double up on your batteries. You can take it apart, you can double up on your batteries. You'll have more current, but there'll also be a higher capacity, so it'll last a longer time when charging and stuff like that. You can charge more phones with your power bank. You know, that's how you can make a power bank last like 12 hours or whatever, because these new lithium batteries are absolute trash, mate. I like the nickel metal hydride ones that are in solar panels. They're very reliable. If you've ever wondered what batteries are in your charge pack for your Xbox 360, they are nickel metal hydride. The ones in the PlayStation controllers, they are lithium. So, you know, because I'm always slating Xbox, but really the battery packs in the Xbox 360 controllers, they're pretty good.
4 minutes. I don't know why the screen randomly cut off earlier. I apologise about that, but it will not now. Where you can tell how this is out of a fairy light. Funny enough, the power supply for that one is actually running off about 30 volts, or like, yeah, about 34 volts, I think. And the reason it's that high is because the way they've ran it, they've got several sets of LEDs in series, about 3 LEDs in series, and then they've put each string of 3 series LEDs in parallel. So when I took this out of the thing at first, I had all the wires disconnected, so there'd be like 2 LEDs out and all the rest of them were on a little bit brighter. But I connected the wires back up, all the LEDs went dimmer, and those other 2 turned back on. It's really interesting how they do it. And yeah, I made my own little set of LEDs, and they were all in parallel. Plugged it into that, and I blew them. See that? Or that to just disconnect this LED and shove it in there. That's for the laptop. I need it for the laptop. Like I said, I've got another one of these with bare end wires. Again, I'm not going to be able to take that down because I've not got enough capacity, mate. Besides, I want to buy a generator anyway. If I buy a generator, I can just have a variac going up to that, and I can have as much power as I want without having to interfere with the house's electrics. It's just better like that. Although I'd probably blow the fuses on my generator. Well, I'll botch them up. No, I think I'll have like a step down transformer to limit it to like 100 volts because when I watch my YouTube videos like throughout the stream, I'm just gonna pardon me. Speeds going off the main.